Utah's congressional representatives and their staff members had to scramble to safety when those protesters breached the Capitol building this afternoon. I spoke to 3rd District Representative John Curtis, who is sheltering in place at an undisclosed location in the Capitol area. For security purposes, he used a virtual background of his home office for this Zoom interview. Representative Curtis was in his office preparing to go vote on election certification when protesters breached the Capitol building.
It was surreal. You heard things like get under the seats, put on there's gas masks in the chambers that are prepared for such things. And when those orders were given out, you know that this is not just a drill.
Once he and his staff were in a secured location, he watched the events unfold on television.
It has to break your heart. It has to break every American's heart to see what happened today. As I'm watching the news reports, I can only think I'm watching something like Venezuela or something where there is no law and order. And I really count on every American, especially myself, to step up and figure out what we can do to stop this. It's insane. It's inappropriate. It's got to be stopped.
Back here in Utah, the director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics says today's violent interruption does not help any party or candidate.
I, for one, have seen so many people engage in protests over this past year, and they've been peaceful, they've been impactful. Those are the kinds of protests that we want to see more of. When it starts becoming something that strikes at the institutions, the buildings themselves, becomes violent, people get hurt, and you start destroying property, that's sort of where the end of the productive part of the protest is, and we start just seeing it devolve into something else. We need to start disagreeing in much better ways.
Meanwhile, Curtis and his staff remain sequestered, wondering when they'll be able to leave.
We have not been given evacuation plans. We literally were talking with my staff just a minute ago about, look, what does this look like if we're here 24 hours? I'm starting to think along those lines that it may not be quick because, quite frankly, I'm not sure where they would evacuate us to or how they would evacuate us. There's just in the House side, there's 435 members and their staff, and then over in the Senate side and staffs, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of people.
Representative Curtis called President Donald Trump's rhetoric at a rally this morning, quote, disappointing, and he called on the president to tell his supporters to stop this violence. Also